wait, Tyson, I have a question.
So,
Have you read Scientific Advertising?
scientific advertising, I haven't. I'm not a big books guy myself, really, but
Oh, all right.
yeah. So books. I got a lot of them. We'll go through some of the books that changed my life. How do you? Because I'm not gonna lie, bro. I answer this question probably about every week. Because when people come in, that's like the first question they ask. Yo, bro, books. This definitely one of my favorite books. A handbook for new stoics. Any book that has to do with stoicism is extremely crucial. Also, somebody record this because this is about to be fire. Certified hood classic, as all of my speeches are. Incredible book. Anything about stoicism are things that you should always be reading all the time. Whenever I feel stressed or upset, or the day is really getting to me, or something bad really happened, read this. Read the stoicism stuff, bro, because it literally clears your mind like nothing else. Reading this is literally like better than meditation. It's calming. It helps everything. As you can see, I have quite a few tags in here just of things that I thought were profound and things that I liked. And every once in a while, I just go through and read them again because that's just how amazing of a book it is. Really love that. So first book that I would recommend, first set of books, is anything to do with stoicism. This is a good one to start with. A handbook for new stoics. It has like exercises and stuff in there, and stories and examples. And next up, we have something a little bit less related to, like, I don't know, business and copywriting, whatever. But it was literally the turning point of my life when it came to self improvement. It put me on self improvement. It put me on everything, and it's this book right here. This book is called The Rational Man. It is basically the very first guideline, the very first book really detailing the red pill philosophy. Now, I'm not super into red pill anymore, but it was what I needed when I was just first starting business. So what happened was, right, I was in a relationship with a girl that I honestly didn't really fuck with. I didn't really fuck with her, you know? But I'm not gonna lie, she had the cha-cha was on fire, so that's why I was kind of dating her. And I was in a pickle where I was living with a roommate at the time. The roommate was going away, so I had to figure out my living situation, right? I didn't have the money to live on my own with no roommate, so I didn't know what to do. So my options were, one, live with a random who's probably a serial killer, or move in with my girlfriend because she really wanted to move in with me, but I didn't even really like this girl. So
get back to fucking work.
I went
It's time to get back to work
and moved in with her ass like a dummy. So here I am, moved in with her. A year later, we signed a 1 year lease. Okay, so we committed to this, and I'm miserable, right? I'm miserable. I go weeks without even speaking to this girl, and I live with her. We're sleeping in separate beds. Everything about it is just terrible, right? And my relationship's just totally messed up. So I start looking online looking at relationship stuff. And then I stumble across a video by Myron Gaines. And I'll never forget this video. It was a video of Myron Gaines and Sterling Cooper, and they were talking about women. And bro, everything they said was completely blowing my mind. I had never heard anyone speak like that and literally just get inside my head. I read this book, and it was like he was describing my exact same situation. In this book, there was an ironclad rule: never move in with a woman. And it gave solid points as to why. And I was like, damn. And it said, here's what's going to happen when you move in with a woman. That is exactly what happened. So I read this book that very day, broke up with my girlfriend. It was messy, but I got out of it. Then I went through a little clubbing phase, kind of to get my confidence back. And then I committed to business, obviously, because I got into Red Pill. I started watching Andrew Tate before he really blew up and became mainstream. And then that kind of set it off. So this book as well, The Rational Male, Positive Masculinity. Anyways, other books. Thank you. So this one, obviously a classic, Get Back to Work. Get Back to Fucking Work. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Get back to fucking work.
Okay.
It's time to get back to work.
Fucking soundboard. Obviously that book is goated. I think most people have read it, but it really hit me in a profound manner because I don't know. I felt like I was very alone in the fact that I had a pretty messed up childhood, and I never really spoke on it much. But and whenever I did try to tell anybody about it, it was exactly like he said in the book. Like, his father would be doing the whole crazy stuff, and his mother would try to call the police. The police would come to the door. His father would put on a masquerade, be like, no, everything's fine. And then the police would leave. Like, that's basically what happened in my life so many different times whenever I try to go to help for different things. And just reading it really, really was something relatable. And it also taught me how to turn my struggles and misfortunes into my motivation and use it to my advantage. That's that book. Next book. The Alchemist. The Alchemist. I really, really love this. The reason why I love the book is because it is more of a casual read. I've only read one other book that was kind of like that, and was called the 5 a.m. Club. Alex, are you recording this? It was called the 5 a.m. Club, and this book is a storybook, right? But it has lots and lots of what's the word? It has lots and lots of interesting passages that are applicable to life. So it's a lot like the Bible in the way that its points and its underlying meanings are not said just out loud. They're not said for you to understand. They're said to be implied. And when the value in that is, instead of you telling somebody, if you want to get motivated, step 1, step 2, step 3, that's one way to tell people. But the other way is to just tell them a story that makes them think, that makes them go like, oh, damn, I never really thought about it like that. And that's that book. That's The Alchemist. Essentially, there's a boy, and he has basically this dream, and he goes to a dream teller, and the dream teller says that he should go to Egypt and find the treasure. And it's this whole big thing. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. You have to read it. It's not a very long read, and the audiobook is also very good. The audiobook is on YouTube for free, so I recommend that one.
Word. So it's like kind of like you have to put your own perspective on it, like impact people differently.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those ones that are left up to interpretation, but it's just a really good book still. I really like it. It's a lot different from the other style of book, because I read a lot of self-help nonfiction books. So with reading that book, but having a little bit of self-help element into it, it's really, really nice. This book, How to Think Like a Roman Emperor, this is essentially just another Stoicism book. Like I said, Stoicism, very, very big for me. I'm very, very big on Stoicism. It's something that every man should really, really look into. Next up.
Wait, hold up. What was the last one? I'm putting that in my Amazon cart right now.
It is How to Think Like a Roman Emperor. This one right here, by the Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was one of the very famous Stoics. He set it into motion. Marcus Aurelius, very, very integral to the development of Stoicism. And then next up, we have classic, The 48 Laws of Power. Now, besides this book just having crazy value in it, beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, look at this. This is just gorgeous. As you can see, I have my tabs in there as well. But 48 Laws of Power, very great read, right? It's rather casual, and it's interesting, as well as it makes you think about things a lot differently. And when you read this book in the business of context, it's also very, very interesting, right? I love listening to the audiobook of this book as well. It's so awesome. It has like this Godfather type music, and it's it's like really, it's almost like it's very, very hyperbolic and exaggerated, because it just sounds like an evil villain telling you his scheme through the whole book. It's really funny. And next,
where can you find the audiobook for 48 Laws of Power?
Where did I get it?
Oh no, where can you see the audiobook?
Where do I see it?
Where I hear it at, I guess.
It's definitely on Audible, and it's probably on YouTube for free. Most audiobooks are on YouTube for free. The only thing with YouTube audiobooks, sometimes the audio is copyrighted. So what they're going to do is they're going to make an AI bot say it, which you're going to be listening to an AI bot. So there's going to be no like vocal inflections or anything in there. If you can stand that, then you can still listen to it for free. But if you want to get the actual real version of it, you might have to just get Audible. Audible is a great investment. It's like $10 a month. It's literally less than your Netflix, like half the price of Netflix. So if you have Netflix and you don't have Audible, you need to make the fucking switch. What are you doing? Not you specifically, but anybody who's listening. Next book is from Russell Brunson. This is called The 74 Funnel Swipe File. This is part of his funnel where he basically takes you in, gives you a whole bunch of value, and then you go through his funnel and upsells and downsells, and we don't know how it works. But it's literally just swipe files of a whole bunch of different funnels, how they work, why they work, who they worked for. You see, we have the super commerce funnel, and here's what the actual page looks like. Here's what the copy looks like. Blah blah blah.
Who's
Very
it
good
by?
book. Russell Brunson, the CEO of ClickFunnels. But that book, another great one for marketing and sales funnels. And then we have over here, we didn't even get to my bookshelf yet. Like those were the ones that didn't fit in my bookshelf. So let me go over and check. Let's go. Let's go see. So let me turn the camera around. This is the other book of The Rational Male. This is the sequel. So I already explained what The Rational Male is, but again, that's just a good book. Over here, we have a book called Breakthrough Copywriting: How to Generate Quick Cash with the Written Word by David Garfinkel. Garfinkel? It's an all right book. It's very, very, very beginner. Just because it's marketed to the widest audience possible. So it's all right. I would say there's nothing in here that isn't already on my channel. So it's not like reading about copywriting is far from the most efficient way to learn about copywriting. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that out there for now. This book is called The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. Essentially, it outlines how you giving away as much value to your audience as possible is what's really going to give them the feeling of reciprocity, and is how you and them are going to prosper side by side. As you guys can tell, probably I've read this and I've implemented it into my business. I give out tons of free value, and I'm also a big believer in the thank you economy. A lot of people, purchase or go over the edge and click the buy button, not because I make the offer so sweet all the time, but a lot of the times it's just because I've already given them so much value to the point where even if I did give them program and it did suck, which I would never do, but even if I did give them a program and it did suck, they'd be like, you know what? This dude already gave me so much value and stuff. Like, it's good, bro. Like, people would honestly probably donate to me if I had like a donate link in my bio. They'd probably donate to me. But that just kind of goes to show that if you give just relentlessly, you will get what you're looking for. You will get the results. That's that book. This book is rather interesting. My ex-girl gave me this book. She didn't give it to me. She let me borrow it. She actually, what did she do? She gave it to me to read because she thought I needed to read it, because she basically thought I sucked at relationships. But she's just kind of dumb, obviously. And I'm up now, so obviously she's up in my fucking DMs because she's anyways. But it essentially it's kind of stupid to me. And I'll tell you why it's kind of dumb. Basically, in this book, it outlines 3 attachment styles that adults get into when they get into relationships. The attachment styles are anxious. God, what are they? Anxious. Oh yeah, anxious, avoidant, and secure. Right there. So anxious is basically the people who are preoccupied with the relationship and super duper into it. Avoidant are the people who aren't really super into the relationship. They're more passive in it. Insecure are the people who are kind of a mix of both. This is literally just outlining male and female nature in a way that's not making it male and female nature. It gives so many examples on people who are anxious, people who are avoidant, and people who are secure. And it's very funny because every single example they give about an anxious person has a female name. Every single person that they give that they talk about who has an avoidant personality has a male name. All the males are avoidant, all the females are anxious. It's literally just talking about how people who are like females, essentially, how are they going to act in a relationship? They're going to be preoccupied with the relationship and tend to worry about their partner's ability to love them back. That sounds like a fucking woman to me. Always wondering about, like, literally, you'll be hanging out, just chilling, right, holding her hand,
Do you
and then
still
you'll go
love me?
scratch, yeah, scratch your elbow or something, and then she'll be like, "Oh my god, he's mad at me. He's not holding my hand anymore. He doesn't love me anymore." Whereas if you're a dude, right, avoidant people are the ones who equate intimacy with loss of independence and constantly try to minimize closeness. That just sounds like he's on his shit. Like, I don't know. Like that book to me is kind of interesting. It's not necessarily a bad book. I just think that it's a watered down version of like Red Pill. This book,
Exactly. What do you think about the Art of War?
The Art of War, I started reading it, but I actually personally didn't like it. The reason as to why I didn't like it is because I didn't find it very applicable to my life. And I found that it was very otherworldly. Other people said that they really liked it and they really enjoyed it, but it just wasn't for me. And that's really how I feel about this book as well. This book, I really love David Goggins, so I bought it without even really thinking twice. Started reading it, and it just was literally just talking about the same shit that his first book went through. And it just sounded like a pity party. It was just like, yeah, I went through all this shit, and it's literally more David Goggins talk. It's literally Can't Hurt Me 1.5. So I didn't really, I don't know, it wasn't really a big thing for me. It was kind of like whatever. This book, Rick Ross, The Perfect Day to Boss Up, A Hustler's Guide to Building Your Empire. It's all right, right? It's kind of one of those books where he tells stories and puts lessons on them. But the thing with it is that it kind of sounds. Have you ever seen those memes where it's like, when podcasters just start talking, they start talking about bullshit. They're like, yeah, like when you do the hustle, you want to do the hustle in a way that is 30-75. 30% on Wednesdays, 75% on Fridays. The reason why is because if you give 75% every day, then that means you can't give 30%. And then you're sitting there like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? That's kind of how I felt about this book. This book is an interesting one, right? I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you're not actively upping your piping game, bro, you have to be the best that the shorty's ever had. You can't just be dating a girl or with a woman and have her just thinking about the last dude she was with. No, 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 no. You have to change her world, dog. And that's where all this comes in. You get me? We have demonstrations and we have, I don't know. We have just, I don't know. It's just a little bit more into, how to pleasure your partner and just how to have a good life in that way. It's a part of everybody's life. So you might as well be good at it. You just might as well be good at it. I'll put that away. Next, we have the book called The One Thing. Now, this book was also key to my success. The reason being is because it highlighted a point that I really needed in my journey at that one time. It's not an extremely profound book, but when you're just beginning into business, it is very important because it tells you the importance of focusing on one thing. And that's so important. Focus on one thing. When I was first starting out in business, just like a lot of people, I started multiple businesses at once. And then I decided, you know what? Whichever one takes off that's the one I'm going to go on. Right? And the problem is that it takes the most energy and time and focus to start one business. And you're already at your worst because you're starting from square one with business. So the likelihood that you're going to make any revenue from any side hustles is very, very, very small. I tried to be a YouTuber / graphic designer / affiliate marketer / this, that, and the other thing. Because I was thinking, well, if I just make $400 from these 5 side hustles, then I can make $2K a month and quit my job. That is literally what I thought. And needless to say, that's nuts. That's just nuts. Right? So reading this book helped me get over that thought and made me realize that focusing on one thing is really what's going to bring the most results. Next. Now, this is a certified hood classic. A lot of you guys have probably heard me speak on this before, but this is Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subri. If you're unaware of sales funnels or marketing or anything like that, this is a great book to read. It is like not beginner, but it is not super advanced, right? Everybody on this call could read this and get value from it. I do highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite books when it's about marketing, right? People ask me what kind of books should I learn to what type of books should I read to learn copy? I don't think copywriting books are very good, but I think this is the closest thing to a copywriting book that I would probably recommend. Reason being is because there's copy actually written in it. The writing inside is dynamic and interesting. It will actually keep and hold your attention as you read it, and it's not super boring. It uses really clever analogies and justifications that I think you could probably add to your swipe file. That is Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. Next. Next, we have Magnetic Marketing by Dan S. Handy. Also, guys, I just want to point out, you see me out here with all these motherfucking books, with all these motherfucking tabs, okay? The work is evident. The work is evident. I didn't just wake up one day and decided, you know what, I'm going to just try this. I'm going to just do some YouTube videos. No. I don't even consider myself a big reader. I read all this shits, all these books, annotated them, took notes, and bought all these courses and watched all these YouTube videos. And I literally became a sponge and soaked up every little bit of knowledge that I could ever have. I was serious about this, y'all. Serious. And I still am. I'm buying all these courses. I'm getting all this knowledge because even now, bro, I owe it to you guys to keep expanding my knowledge. You guys, basically how it works is I learn, study, and implement, take the best knowledge that I have, refine it, and give it out to you guys. That is my job. Not only my job, but my purpose. Okay? So, needless to say, bro, you have to really study this stuff, dog. Like my work, the proof is here. The proof is everywhere. You can see the proof. Okay? If you come to me and say, Tyson, I'm having trouble with copywriting and I don't have clients yet and I'm not making money yet. You better show me your motherfucking work. You better show me, okay, who were the last 3,000 clients you outreached to? What were the last books you read? What were the last courses you got? If you sit there being like, oh, well, I started 2 weeks and I just watched a couple YouTube videos, then I ain't got nothing to help you with, G. You got to help yourself. This is a great book for a lot of the same reasons why this Sell Like Crazy is a good book. This is honestly Sell Like Crazy, but like the smaller version, right? And also, there's a lot of really great copy in here that can also be added to your swipe file. And before we go into the next book, I'm going to go through the chat and check it out real quick. So if you guys want to say anything, should Tyson make a copywriting book? I actually am working on a copywriting right now. Me and the team are working on it, and it should be coming out sometime next month. I'm really working hard on the 4D Academy 2.0 right now, but after the 4D Academy 2.0 is out, I'm going to keep adding content to it, but also work really hard on setting up a book, right? And once I write the book and have it done, I'm basically going to give people a chance to get it for free with the contest that we're going to be running. It's a whole big thing. I honestly shouldn't really be talking about it too much because nothing's set in stone yet. But it's going to be fire, trust me. What do you think about the .com Secrets trilogy? I actually haven't read them. I wanted to read them and I tried to order them, but for some reason, it's like me being in Canada, which is not a super weird out of the way country, but it wouldn't let me buy them whenever I went and tried last year. So, hey Tyson, I see you're into Alex Hormozy, Russell Brunson, and Dan Kennedy. I don't have Alex Hormozy's book, but I do watch him a lot. It might be coincidental, but they're all leading figures of ClickFunnels. Just a question: have you been interested in that ClickFunnels shit? I don't use ClickFunnels per se because I just don't know how to use it. I find the program that I use easier to use, so that's what I use. I've used ClickFunnels in the past for clients. Honestly, I found it not optimal. I just didn't find it optimal. But everybody seems to enjoy it. Everybody seems to like it, so maybe that's just me. ClickFunnels is cool. Learning actual sales funnels is what's more integral. The software or the site that you create them on is like whatever. That's not what's going to actually bring you in the money. Tyson, how can I add a stat effect to the soundboard? I'm not really sure. Create. When is the 40 Academy 2.0 dropping? I have some. It's going to be dropping sometime this month. I have some content recorded. Zenos has a bunch of content recorded, but like the thing is, it's not going to release at 100% because I don't like to do that. I like to release at like an hour, maybe an hour of content, so that I can get feedback and hear what people want as I create the course, so that I can create the best program possible. So it'll be out sometime this month, probably in the next week or two, honestly. But it's a little bit hard to say. But it's going to have added content about sales funnels. Go really hard on sales funnels, really, really deep on email marketing, like actually going inside of the program, showing you guys the behind the scenes of the email marketing, because I find nobody really does that. So, yeah. What do you think of Take Their Money by Kyle Milligan? I actually liked that book when I read it back in the beginning. But again, I was a beginner. So I think that the book is helpful. We're gonna eat some. Anyways, this book is called Non-Negotiable by Wes Watson. 10 years incarcerated, creating the unbreakable mindset. As you can see, I have some tabs here. Now, I really like Wes Watson. I think that he has a lot of profound thoughts, and I can tell for a matter of fact that during his 10 years of incarceration, he read a lot of books and intook a lot of value. Because this dude is a living quotes machine. This dude spits like the craziest quotes ever. The problem with the book, though, is that it's shit. The book is literally just like transcribed version of him speaking. He speaks very informally, which is cool, but it's like when you're trying to read it, he's like, I don't know, it's not the same. Like if you've ever seen a Wes Watson video where he's like spitting on the camera and flexing his muscles and just being Wes Watson, you'll know that that can't be created with just words on the page. So that's how I feel about the book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend reading the book, but I do recommend checking out Wes Watson because he makes a lot of good content. And next, of course, we have Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Get unstuck, reclaim your freedom, and build your empire. This one is dope, right? Especially being a business owner. So, I mean, I'm at the stage in my business right now where I'm trying my hardest to multiply myself. I really, really, really need to learn to multiply myself and to run my team, right? And this is something that, new levels, new devils. Once you reach new heights, you're always going to have these new problems. And you got to solve these new problems. One of my new problems is, hey, I'm creating so much content. I need more people to help me with it. I need more people to help me post it, to write it, to create the slides, to edit the videos. The one thing that I need to do that nobody else can do is get in front of the camera. I need to get in front of that fucking camera for hours every day. And everything else I need to work my hardest to outsource. And it is really hard to outsource things. A lot of people don't understand. And I very much get why a lot of clients don't like hiring people like copywriters, right? Because I've heard this expression before, and I want to share it with you guys. Okay, I think you know what the book looks like. Let me just I'll share it with you guys. Someone said that outsourcing is great, but when it comes to copywriting, it's a lot like outsourcing having sex with your wife. That's the one thing that you would probably never outsource. You never want to outsource. Why? Because it's something that's very personal. It's a very personal relationship between somebody's personal brand and their audience. And I understand that. I feel the same way. I'll have guys who are good copywriters, Zenos, Costin, some other guys in the Discord server, write me emails. And I'm just very, very, very picky, for lack of a better word. But I'm very intentional with how I make my emails, what voice I use, what language I use, what grammar I use, all of it, right? So it was really hard for me to actually get somebody to write in a way. There goes fucking Jasper. Yeah, Jasper, you're the GOAT, bro. Shut the fuck up. Jasper's the only kid in the goddamn world that can actually recreate my voice because he's literally watched and learned and implemented seemingly every word that I've ever put out content-wise. Like he says stuff and remembers stuff that I've said and comes up with these angles where it's like literally this dude has downloaded every single neuron that fires in my brain. Now, don't get me wrong, I still edit his stuff a lot before it goes out just because I like it to have a little bit of me in it. But still, I think that I've finally, after months and months and months and months and months of struggling with having to write all the content, because writing is very, very time consuming, right? I'm still the main copywriter in my own business, right? And I need to outsource that because writing takes up a lot of time, but not only does it take up time, it takes a lot of deep work energy, right? Most people only have up to 3 to 4 hours of deep work energy that they can do in a day. If you've been working on it for a long time, you can get deeper work for those 3 to 4 hours, or you might be able to extend it past those 3 to 4 hours, depending on what you're doing, but still it's very, very finite. People are like, yeah, I work 10 hours a day, I work 9 hours a day. And I used to be like that as well. But the thing is, after those 3 to 4 hours of deep work are burnt off, the rest of your time is just diminishing returns. You're over there doing outreach, or you're over there writing copy, or over there doing whatever deep work tasks, and you're getting about 1 hour's worth of things done in around 3 hours. So this is why outsourcing and buying back your time is so integral. So there were some things in this book that I learned. For example, is how you would like the exact procedures to recording yourself doing things and sharing it with your teammates and sharing those SOPs with them so that they can have a better understanding of what you're doing and follow along. Okay, so that was Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And speak of the devil, what's the next book we have here, yo? It is Deep Work by Cal Newport. Now, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this book. The reason why I have a love-hate relationship with Deep Work is because I like the concept. I hate the book. The book is really annoying. It is very, very non-beginner, non-technical friendly. It speaks in very, very technical terms. I feel like this dude is basically Ben Shapiro, where he's just a straight nerd, right? No offense to either of those guys. I like them, Cal Newport and Ben Shapiro, but they just are really, really technical people, right? He'll say deep work is really important, right? And I'll be like, okay, yeah, I understand that. I've seen that in my life. And instead of like telling a story or telling whatever, he'll go into how many neurons are in your brain and your dopamine receptors and your prefrontal cortex and your blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dog. Just give me what I should do. Tell me how I should make better deep work, get into deep work. Like, what are the steps? Like, I'm not trying to hear all this other scientific jargon. I get it. I understand. I agree with you. Deep work, that's dope. But like, can we get to some tangibles here? That's how I feel about the book. So I wasn't a big fan of it, but still, good book. Next book is one of my favorites. Right? The next book is one of my favorites. Also, you guys should know that I basically never buy a book before I read it. There's very, very few books that I buy before I read or hear the audiobook. Reason being is because I find most books, like, you really can't judge a book by its cover. If you think I'm sitting here wasting my time reading a book, spending out my precious mental energy before I even know if the book is good or not, reading books already is not the most efficient way of getting information. So that's why I believe in reading it, understanding it, knowing what's inside before you actually purchase. Some of these books I haven't actually even read out of the book, like this one, for example. I haven't actually read it out of the book, but I've listened to the audiobook many times. So I thought I would give back to the give back to the writer by actually purchasing it. So in this book, The Psychology of Money, he gives a lot of interesting points, right? So I'll share some of those with you. So the first interesting point that he gives in this video that I've actually brought up not too long ago was the way that most people don't have $2,000 worth of savings in their bank account. Like, the majority of Americans don't have that much money. Yet, the vast majority of people who are from low incomes are the people who purchase lottery tickets. Often, like regularly purchase lottery tickets, despite the fact that it is highly unlikely that they will ever win or profit from these lottery tickets. Well, why is that? Essentially because lottery is essentially a tax on poor and stupid people. And those people are not buying the lottery ticket to win, but buying the lottery ticket because of how it'll make them feel. It'll make them feel for just that one split second that maybe they could live their dreams. Maybe they can get everything they ever wanted. Maybe they can get that $64 million or whatever it is. It's really, really quite interesting. He goes over some other really interesting points as well, about like the psychology behind money instead of like actual money principles. Let me see if I can remember another one in here. See if we can land on one. Beware of taking financial cues from people playing another game than you are. Exactly. So a lot of the people in like investing, for example, so if you invested in Bitcoin at $10,000 and it's at $50,000 right now, right? You're over here thinking, yo, I just 5x'd my money. I just got a 500% return. Bitcoin is a good investment. So you tell your buddy, hey, Bitcoin is a good investment. I made 500%. Someone else is like, hey, shit, maybe I can make 500%. So they get in at the 5,000, thinking that maybe it could go to 25,000. Little do they know it already went up 500%. So essentially they're playing a different game because one person got in when it was low, the other person's getting in at the very top, right? This is why a lot of people literally end up buying high and selling low. Stocks is really easy. All you have to do is buy low and sell high. But people have a very, very hard time actually putting that into practice. And another thing that this book really touches on that I fell victim to was just very, very emotional trading, right? So I would see my stocks or crypto go down and I'd lose like $200. And instead, what I would do is I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to lose more. So I'll take my money out right now. So I would take my money out thinking that the market will go even lower. And then I can buy right at the lowest part of the market. And then when it go up, I'll sell at the highest part of the market and make my money back. This is called revenge trading. And this is the highest emotional form of trading in the stock market. And this is where you get royally fucked. The stock market will literally take your ass and not give it back if you start doing this type of dumb shit. Next is another Rational Male book. This is another one in the trilogy. I've already kind of spoken about that, so I'm not going to go over it again. And next is The Intelligent Investor. If you guys can't tell, I was really into like stocks and investing. This book is all right. It's really old. The investing strategies in it don't really work anymore, but it's interesting to see how they actually thought back then. And it's just really, really boring. It literally reads like a dry cracker, and I don't really like it for that reason. And those are my book. That finally answers question of, yo, Tyson, can you tell me your favorite books? Although somebody will probably ask again in the next 5 seconds or in the next couple days.
No, I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Of course, homie. Of course. I don't mind talking about them. I mean, I'm into books, so yeah. But just to recap, if I had to pick 3 that are must reads, I would say Sell Like Crazy is a must read. I would say, I would say that any stoicism books, any books about stoicism is a must read for sure. And then I might pick, which other one would I pick? I would either pick The Rational Male, right? But although that doesn't have much to do with business, I still do think that The Rational Male is a goated book. It completely, like, it is the one book that changed my life, probably more than any other book, and probably more than any other thing in the world. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it literally changed the trajectory. Like, when I was with my girlfriend back in that apartment, I probably would have never broken up with her. I probably would have just stayed with her and just lived that, like, quiet desperation type of life. until I read that and I was like, shit, this is what's really going on. I need to leave. And if I didn't read that, bro, I just would have been trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Just wouldn't fucking know any better. I don't know where I wouldn't have this business. I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I wouldn't have started copywriting. I don't even know what I would. I probably still would have been banging wood together as a carpenter, to be honest. Who fucking knows? But that's it. Those are the books that I would choose, the top 3.
How about the 48 Laws of Power? Where did you say that's up there too?
That one's really good. Yeah, I would probably say that's one of the best out there. The thing about it is that not all of them are super extremely relevant. Some of them, not that I like disagree with them, but like they're rather very specific use case. So it's a good book. I like it. A lot of other people probably like it more than me. It's one of those books that you hear about all the time, but you hear about it all the time for a reason. I would say it's pretty good. I would recommend reading it. I would recommend listening to the audiobook over anything, because I also believe that it's for free on YouTube. So yeah,
Thank you.
of course. I'm reading the chat right now. Damn, there are people like literally waiting to get in here. That's crazy. Anyone can make 20K a month in your YouTube vid is fire. Everyone check out the Tyson 3D channel. Yeah, the side channel is fire. I might do some more stuff with that, some vlogs or something, who knows. But yeah, anyone can make 20K in a year is literally facts, bro. Like my goal when I first set out to do business was like, okay, like people always think that business is more linear than it is, right? They think month 1 will be $1,000, month 2 will be $2,000, month 3 will be $3,000, so on and so forth. When in reality, it's month 1 to 6 will be $0. Month 7 might be $2,000. Month 8 might be $0. Month 9 might be $5,000. Month 10 might be $10,000. As crazy as that sounds, that's literally basically what happens. And when I first started business back then, I was like, okay, in 6 months, I want to be making $5K a month, which obviously didn't happen. But I was like, okay, in like 1 year to 2 years, I want to get to 15K a month. Bruh, 15K was like a while ago. We're at multiples of that now. I blew past that goal, and I never even thought of it possible. If you would have told me I would have been here right now, literally 1 year ago, nah, bro. 1 year, like one of the days last month, I looked into my Snapchat story, and I posted it in here somewhere. And it was a video of me being like, hey, yeah, so I just got my like first retainer, or my first $2,000 client. It's really dope. And I have a couple free trial clients and whatever, right? This is something that I also recommend everybody in here do, is video journal your journey. Because you're going to be able to look back on them and be like, damn. Like people look back at I look back at my journey and the videos I took and I get goosebumps, bro. Because I literally spoke that shit into fucking existence. I would go through the good times and the bad times. I'd be like, I lost my clients, my car broke down, and I have no money. And then a couple months later, I'd be like, yo, I just closed my 3K deal and I'm making more money. I'm going to quit my job soon. That's just kind of how it happens. Anyone in here can make 20K a month in a year. It's also just a belief, man. It really, really comes down to being a belief. Like 20K a month in business terms is not really that much. Like, sure, if you're a copywriter, it might seem hard right now, but bro, it all really comes down to you are in the hardest part of the journey in the beginning. The hardest part of your journey in the beginning. It gets so much easier. And then you start to get financially incentivized. See, right now, you're somewhat financially incentivized, but you don't actually have the money. It's like, imagine if you took a job where your salary was $100,000 a year, but you get the $100,000 upfront. You'd be like, shit, that's crazy, right? You'd be extremely motivated, and bonuses if you keep working really hard. you'd be like, damn, I'm gonna work my ass off because look at this, I just got this 100 grand. I want more. But really, what we're doing almost is working a 100 grand salary job, but we don't get paid until the last day of the year. That's almost what it's like. Right? And this kind of goes with a concept that I spoke about in CCA, which there's not too many pickles in here, so I guess I can kind of speak about it. But it's the mindset of if you do 100 outreaches and then you get a $1,000 client on your last outreach, a lot of people think that those 99 outreaches were worth $0 and that last one outreach was worth $1,000. But the way you really think about it is that all of those outreaches were worth $10. Every outreach that you did was worth $10 because you wouldn't have never gotten to that 100th outreach if it wasn't for those first 99. So while you sit there, you have to always remember that you are putting the work, you are getting closer to your goal, and you will make it. You will make it. You can't not make it. It really is the belief in yourself that makes is Hustlers University good? Good is really rather subjective. Honestly, yeah, I would say that it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Everything that's in there is easily findable on YouTube or whatever. Like, especially on my channel with the free courses that I put out. A lot of people compare them and are like, bro, this free course is literally miles ahead of Hustlers University. A big reason is because my free courses are not only better quality, like production wise, actually use a nice camera, a nice microphone. Like in HU, when I was in it at least, they were really using their laptop webcam and like not even a slideshow. He was just talking to his laptop, like no mic even, just speaking into the laptop. And Andrew Tate would always go on about, yeah, millionaire copywriters, millionaire. Everyone in here is a millionaire, millionaire, millionaire. It's like, dog, there ain't no production value in here. What are you talking about? But I digress. Some people like it, which whatever. I think it's cool. But I really don't think that you need it, especially to start, especially because you got the guys like I've been saying recently, bro. I didn't have no Tyson 4D. I didn't have no free courses, no this, no that. So me getting into Hustlers University, that made a little bit of sense back then. Because yes, I could have found a lot of that information for free online, but I would have been scavenging, wasting time. Now you don't have to scavenge. You don't have to waste time. I literally have the 2.5 hour course, the couple of 1 hour courses, the 45-minute course. I have a sales funnels course, free one, that my editor is working on right now. What more do you need, bro? That's my personal opinion on Hustlers University. But I'm going to be making another update review on it on my channel soon.
How many hours a day did you sit down, just do copywriting and just learn for you to get to your current goal right now?
How many hours did I learn to get to my current level right now?
Like, how many hours a day did you sit down and just focus?
So my workload, as when I was beginning, also my phone is at 13%, so I'm not going to be on for too much longer. But my workload kind of looked like this. So I would wake up at 2 a.m. I would work on copywriting, so mostly outreach, and also just learning some copy and practicing some copy and doing some emails and doing some free value emails, free trial emails for clients, things of that nature. So I wake up, I do that at 2 a.m. to around 7 a.m. So that's 5 hours right there. And then I would get ready to go to work. After I came back from work at like 6 p.m., I would go to bed. Right. And I would also go to the gym in the morning between 7 and 8 or 9 whenever I left for work. And then I did that for about 9 to 10 months. And then I quit my job and started doing copywriting full time. When I started doing copywriting full time, I was literally working from the time my eyes opened to the time my eyes closed. The reason being is because I was working with multiple clients and I was trying to start my own business as well. So I was working with multiple clients. I was also recording content. I was also doing webinars. I was also doing all this crazy stuff for the Tyson 4D brand, which was just then starting. And I had no employees, nobody else working for me. It was literally just all me. I made all the content. I edited all my videos. I made all the thumbnails. I did everything. So I didn't get much sleep back then. But as I started to go, I mean, now I still do copy like pretty much every day. Copy is still a huge part of my life, right? Up until now. So during the last, what? I want to say 6? No. Probably 10. The last 10 months has been like copy almost 24/7 in the way of, no, I don't sit down and read copywriting books or watch copywriting YouTube videos 24/7, but it's always on the forefront of my mind, right? And the guys in the academy are going to, like, they really know this, because I don't just show them copywriting, right? I show them a random YouTube video or a show or an episode or something or a reel that has copywriting in it, right? Because copywriting is in everything. And once you realize this, it's like seeing through the matrix. You see the psychology, the marketing psychology behind every single thing that you watch. I want to tell you guys a very quick story before I dip here, and I'm going to be doing a review with the academy students in the advanced section. I watched this video, this show on Netflix recently, like yesterday, with my girl. I turned it on. What it was called was How to Build a Sex Room. That's what it was called. And it's basically a show where this woman is a professional interior designer, where she interior designs sex rooms. Right now, I first turned it on. And my girl was like, "What the hell? This is crazy. This is nuts. What the f? This is weird. I don't know if we should watch this." Okay. And by the end of it, she was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. We need to have a sex room. We need to blah, blah, blah." And I literally watched as the TV show was starting to break down her beliefs, was starting to really change the way that she thinks and give those rock solid justifications where she's like, maybe I would consider that. Right. And so many perfect examples of them doing the main part of copywriting that I've been trying to show you guys a lot lately, which is showing them why you're convinced rather than trying to convince them. And I swear on my life, bro, just like watching those gears turn in somebody's head is so interesting, because you understand psychology just so much more. And yes, it's a little bit haram, the subject matter, but still, just it could be anything. It could be literally anything, and it's just really interesting. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, yo, my phone's out.
Don't
like 10%.
panic. I am recording this.
Oh shit! I gotta get out of here. My lawyer's gonna have a fit.
Don't
All right,
panic.
peace, yo.
I am recording this.
All right, peace out, man. Thank you.
Emotional damage. Don't panic. I am recording this. I am recording this.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work.
Don't panic. I am recording this.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work.
Don't panic. I am recording this.
Get back to fucking work. Get back to fucking work.